there's a video made by this creator where he slanders my name and calls me a scammer and liar.
I found out he exploits his viewers for money. How do I know this? Because it happened to me. I made a video exposing Nick30 for his weird behavior with his viewers. I don't like Nick30. As soon as I sent the next donation, I realized he had banned me from donating. Just a lie. I'm very happy with my life. Just really weird, to be honest. When the situation happened, I felt I had to make a video to warn parents who let their kids donate to.
At no point whatsoever did Arcch reach out via Twitter, email, any social media platform, or through another donation saying that he would like a refund.
So while I had been in the process of creating the last video on the Long Dark, a new story and commentary had decided to pop up. A story of how a popular Fortnite streamer known as Nick30 had been scamming his audience. Except that isn't quite what happened. Allow me to explain. You see, a YouTuber known as Arcch had come out with his story of how he had gotten scammed out of a few donations because he wanted Nick30 to say something so he could clip it and put it in one of his videos. And when Nick had failed to do so, well, that just means that Arcch had been scammed out of $15. And so Arcch decided to make a video calling Nick a scam artist. However, in my time of research and finding the original stream, I found a very different story than the one Arcch had been trying to tell. So let's go through what I found versus the Arcch narrative. This all began when Archie wanted to make a video on getting Fortnite challenges from popular streamers. However, when he went to Nick's stream on YouTube, he saw that the chat had been set up as members only, so he could watch the stream but just not interact with it. A workaround that Archie had found had been to use Nick's Streamlabs page in order to donate to him, since it gives you the ability to send through a donation message for the streamer to read. Nick, upon reading the first message, had thanked him for the donation and said that he would be happy to give him a challenge to appear in his video that he had been working on.
Arcch with the 4. Nick Big Bang, can you give me a Fortnite challenge for your video? Always happy Christmas, brother. Thank you, bro. If you have an idea, I would more than likely be happy to say it. I don't have any ideas off the top of my head. If I had ideas, I'd be recording it, you know? So if you have a challenge, you let me know. I will gladly say it so you can use it for your video, if that's what you'd like.
The amount of times Arcch had sent through a donation with a message had been 4 times, and these had been spaced out quite a bit, with the first being at the 4-hour and 34-minute mark of the stream, and the second message being 20 minutes later. The third had been at the 5-hour and 11-minute mark, and the last being near the end of the 5-hour and a half stream. Now, this is possibly because Arcch had been warned about spamming before, as he does make a note of it in one of his donations. However, I don't quite think 4 donations would be considered as spamming, but hey, that's just me. In responding to the first message, as I've said before, Nick said that he would be happy to give a challenge for Arch's video, but he also said that he was out of ideas for a challenge. In the second donation, Arcch responds by telling Nick, "Bro, it can be any challenge, just anything off the top of your head, even if it's been done before, thanks." In response to this, Nick simply says,
Arcch, thank you for the 2. I responded, bro.
In the third donation, Arcch had said, "I mentioned some in the last donation, like one chest or shotgun only, lol. Appreciate your content, man. Not trying to spam, just sending you money. Laugh my ass off." Which Nick had responded like so.
Ryder, thank you for the gifted. Arcch, listen, if you have a challenge that you would like me to give you, you give it to me. I don't have any challenge ideas, bro. You're the content creator. You come up with the idea. I'll say it if that's what you want. If you want to include me in the video, please stop spamming, okay? It's not my responsibility to come up with video ideas for you, bro. Listen, like, if I had the idea, I'd be doing it myself. I said that already 3 times. So if you can't pay attention to the stream, like, that's on you, bro. I literally responded to your message way too many times.
And the fourth message had been, "Brother, you asked me to tell you what I would like you to say, and then you don't read the message." When I think it's pretty clear that he did read the message, and Nick responded to Arcch with a simple thank you this time. And that's pretty much it for their conversation, which for some reason this resulted in a ban, probably because he didn't want to deal with Arcch anymore, which is understandable. Looking back over the conversation, what I think happened here was Arcch didn't specify what he wanted him to say, but left it up to Nick to decide what the challenge could be. So while the guy is playing Fortnite, trying to win these matches, interacting with the stream chat and reading donations, he now has to think up some random challenge to give to some random guy. And I think it's possible that Nick just didn't get around to giving this challenge to Arcch. However, because Nick dared to leave Archie empty-handed, Archie then made this video. Nick 30 scams his viewers, which he soon changed the title to Nick 30 Scams Me. So you're probably wondering how the situation could have changed so quickly from dude, I appreciate your content to you scammed me bro, which this wasn't a scam. A scam would imply that Nick had tricked Arcch into donating money to him, when we have previously explored that Arcch had been donating to Nick on his own volition in order to communicate with him. And nowhere in the stream does Nick push Arcch to keep donating to him. He doesn't tell him anything along the lines of, if you want that challenge bro, then you need to keep giving me money. He just simply responds to each of the donation messages like any other streamer would. Where is the scam? The video in a nutshell is the grievances of a scorned fanboy who didn't get the clip he wanted, so he decides to slander someone he enjoys watching. Where is the logic in that? Also, isn't it weird how this guy says,
I don't like Nick30,
but later in a community post he will tell us that he actually likes watching Nick's content? Which one is it, Arcch? You can't have it both ways, buddy. Arcch in the video shows the third donation message he had sent, which is a recreation of that message since he didn't have the original message on hand, and claims that Nick didn't read it, but he did read the message and responded to him.
Arcch for the 2. Hey man, you replied to my first number, but I don't think you saw the second. You never gave a challenge. I did, bro. I did. I answered it in full. Ryder, thank you for the gifted. Arcch, listen, if you have a challenge that you would like me to give you, you give it to me. I don't have any challenge ideas, bro. You're the content creator. You come up with the idea. I'll say it if that's what you want. If you want to include me in the video, please stop spamming, okay?
But then he shows himself typing out a message on screen showing what he had said in the fourth message.
So I donated another $2, saying simply, I think he might have missed my dono, and I specified which 2 challenges I would like him to give me, as in his own words, this was okay.
However, this is a complete fabrication, passing off something he thought up in post-production to be a real message, when he didn't actually send this out to Nick at all. Hell, I could do the same thing right now. Now, Nick did read the messages on stream, maybe not out loud, but he certainly did respond to them, as we have already seen. And Arcch tells us that he watched the stream twice, so I wonder how this guy could have missed these mentions if he really did watch the stream back twice.
If you can't pay attention to the stream, like, that's on you, bro. I literally responded to your message.
He must have just ignored it or just not read it and then just flat out lied to me. But I went through the whole stream twice and he didn't read it or even look at it. So I don't even know what happened there.
And the framing of the video is so disingenuous when he says,
I really don't understand what's hurt this man's feelings. It's kind of weird how he said if I told him what challenge I wanted, he would say it, leading to me donating more and more money.
Arcch is acting like he is some mindless drone, unable to make his own decisions. Like, is that clip so important to you that you will continue to dish out more and more money like you have no self-control? Again, Arcch, where is the scam? But then Arcch tells us that he had been banned from donating, so that would beg the question, if Nick wanted more of his money, surely he would just let him continue, right? Seeming as Arcch lacks any self-control, like he just throws money into a slot machine and then blames the casino for letting him blow his money away. He then shows his and his girlfriend's PC to us with a caption that tells us that his PC was banned, so he had to use his girlfriend's PC in order to continue communicating with Nick. This is starting to sound like a crazy stalker story, but here is the thing. When your account gets banned, that doesn't mean that your PC or device is also banned. Like, come on, bro. He then claims that Nick bans people who donate to him because they wouldn't go along with his roleplay in Fortnite, which could very well be the case, although from what I've seen, I don't know if I can trust Arcch at his word now, as he seems to be a pretty untrustworthy weasel rather than a credible source. But even if he does ban people who have donated in the past to him, that is still up to him. It's his channel or stream. Like, if someone donates to you, does that mean you are now obligated to keep that person around? Like, he's acting like people can never be annoying, or trolls don't donate to streamers in order to get a reaction. Like, Arcch is incapable of putting himself in the other person's shoes.
He also said he would be happy to do it if I gave him the challenge, which I did.
So if you have a challenge, you let me know. I will gladly say it so you can use it for your video, if that's what you'd like.
So I don't know why he was acting like a man-child about this. I mean, this man is 29 years old and is having some sort of tantrum because I donated to him. Not to mention, I'm 19 years old, but as far as he knows, I could be anywhere from 5 to 10, as his demographic is mainly little kids. I did have a lot of respect for Nick30, but for all of you who watch him, do you really want to support someone who's this ungrateful?
To be clear here, Nick was not being ungrateful to Arcch, nor was he being a man-child in the stream. Basically, Arcch made this video because he didn't get a clip of Nick giving him a Fortnite challenge. So who is the real spoiled brat here, Arcch? It's pretty clear that Arcch didn't have any good intentions in this video and just wanted to make up a BS story for some easy clicks because he felt hard done by and was retaliating for not getting what he wanted. It was in fact channels like Turkey Tom, Chud Logic, and Nicholas Diorio and other drama channels who stepped up and gave the video the criticism that it deserved.
Oh my god, these losers! Oh my god, these parasocially invested f***ing fairies, dude!
I did have a lot of respect for Nick30, but for all of you who watch him, do you really want to support someone who's this ungrateful? As far as he knows, I could have been a kid.
Ungrateful because I didn't want to deal with your shitter fucking $10 spam donos.
That is a crazy way to start a video like this, guys. I'm exposing him for weird behavior with his viewers. Okay, that is a loaded fucking intro.
And somehow a lot of people are agreeing with this, and it is driving me literally insane because he did not scam anyone, and the kid who's trying to expose him is such an entitled worm.
Bro was just a rude, toxic, hateful individual, bro.
True.
Bro, this is just obscene. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just listening to this and I'm like, this is nothing. Like, the story is, nothing happened. Nothing happened. And everyone's fucking latched onto it and is pushing it on like it's a thing. Now look, I get filler content. I get padding stuff out. I do it all the time. I fucking spin off a story and make a bunch of segments out of it. That's fine. But it's the fact that they're repeating this narrative that he's some sort of scammer and he's done something wrong here. That's the thing that I find really bad. Because he hasn't done anything wrong. He's done nothing. Nothing has happened, wonderful. And they're calling him like a scammer and shit. It's crazy.
He keeps bringing up kids. Oh, that's all these people do. If you do anything that they don't like, it's like, but you have a child audience, mate. You literally have a fucking child audience, mate.
This went from, I'm not going to talk about this, to, yeah, this is really weird.
And somehow, like, commentary channels are agreeing with this and signal boosting him. And, well, frankly, I'm losing my mind over it.
I think the reason it did so well is because people do have issues with Nick. They find his behavior on stream really...
Oh, yeah, there's just been unrelenting fucking anger towards Nick that it festered when you exposed him for nothing.
However, Nick had seen the dishonest framing from Arcch's video, and when people brought it up to him while he was playing Red Dead Redemption, he talked about it on the stream, which some of the daily commentators framed this as a crash out or a meltdown moment when it was anything but, which gave Arcch an excuse to continue his dishonest narrative when he made Nick30 is a liar, which in a nutshell is deny all that is said and provide no evidence to back anything up. But apparently the reason Arcch made the first video wasn't out of spite for the streamer, no. It was actually to be informative, to warn the parents of Nick's viewership.
And when the situation happened, I felt I had to make a video to warn parents who let their kids donate to this guy and how their kids could be treated. Because the way he reacted was so strange, and I was being nothing but polite, so I can't imagine what he would say to a kid asking the same question who wouldn't be able to write in a professional manner like I did.
Even though Arcch doesn't know what the demographic of Nick's viewership is, and is just running with an assumption because Nick streams himself playing Fortnite, therefore he must have a younger audience. Like, this just sounds like he's virtue signaling in this video to make himself sound like a good person when he's anything but. Like, come on, Arcch. You didn't care about the kids before making the video since you came up with that expose because you didn't get the clip you wanted. Come on, dude. Don't hide behind think of the children. It's not a good look. Like, it just looks like he has to come up with some moral reasoning for making this scamming allegation, just in case it looks unreasonable to accuse someone of scamming when you didn't get your way. Like, do we really think that this guy would have made this allegation had he gotten the clip he wanted? Of course not, because it wasn't about the children or being informative, it was about not getting the clip. Arcch also says that he had exposed some pretty weird behavior from Nick in his video.
Right, so if you didn't know already, I made a video exposing Nick30 for his weird behavior with his viewers.
According to Arcch though, getting annoyed at someone would be classed as weird behavior, but it wouldn't be classed as being weird for someone to use their girlfriend's PC to continue communicating with a streamer that didn't want to know, since Nick banned him on his PC. How is this classed as normal behavior, but getting annoyed at someone pestering them is considered as weird behavior? But here's the thing, Nick wasn't actually getting annoyed at him, he was getting annoyed at the game.
Holy crap, bro. Arcch, thank you.
The look on his face, I don't know what it is, but he just looks annoyed.
What the heck? Wait, why, bro? What is this game? I didn't even swap weapons to cancel. That's so dumb. Holy crap, bro. Arcch, thank you.
Interesting how that little detail didn't make it into the video, but according to Arcch, he wrote the previous video in a professional manner when he falsely accuses Nick of scamming him when he did nothing of the sort. Does it sound professional to you to levy false allegations because you didn't get what you wanted for your video? Hell have no fury like a scorned fanboy. But later on, Arcch tells us that he isn't a rude or toxic individual.
I'm not a rude, toxic, hateful individual like Nick is saying I am. He doesn't know anything about me. He's clearly only watched that video of mine and come to that judgment.
So I guess people who load false allegations against others are just kind and misunderstood souls, right? I think it's clear that the intention behind the first video hadn't been out of concern for a younger demographic, but because Arcch felt hard done by because he donated money on his own fruition, like he's having those mourning regrets after the fact. Oh, and just so you know, Arcch makes sure to inform us that he couldn't possibly have been swayed by the prospect of getting a lot of views on the story, because he just so happens to be happy in his life.
I think by saying I've only done this for views is just a lie. I'm very happy with my life. I don't care about the views. I've been editing since I don't even know when. I just like making videos. He's just trying to make it seem like I'm this guy who's greedy, trying to get views and money, but that's not my character whatsoever. I'm actually really happy with my life. I've got a beautiful girlfriend, a car, a roof over my head, a nice computer. I've got everything I need. So no, I wasn't clout chasing or anything like that.
I mean, you can't be that happy in your life if you have to resort to falsely accusing someone of scamming their audience when they didn't play ball. And this whole point just makes it sound like he's actually insecure about these things. Also, I like that when he makes these claims towards Nick, it was professional of him to do so, but when Nick responds, then the narrative suddenly shifts to, oh, I was just looking out for the children in his chat. Oh, I was just trying to warn the parents. Oh, I'm just this little victim. When you, Arcch, are no victim at all. And he then tries to claim that he wasn't trying to make Nick look bad in his video, when that was the entire premise of the video.
I'm not trying to make you look bad. If anything, I told all the people that saw that video, don't go send hate to Nick. Wait for his perspective of the situation.
No, my intention actually, sir, was to make you look good by claiming you were taking advantage of your child audience and of how you were banning people after they gave you money. Like, how is that supposed to make anyone look good in that scenario? He is basically calling Nick a scumbag. In fact, he went out of his way to claim that he was being a man-child because he apparently got annoyed by Arcch. The message I get from this video is, oh guys, I'm a real good person. No, really, I'm a good person. Trust me, bro.
But now he's responded getting really angry and just being flat out rude for no reason. I've been respectful to him. I'd say so myself, at least.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
When Nick has every right to be angry with Arcch for slandering not just him, but his brand as well. But Nick isn't wrong to feel this way, as he has been wronged. And I agree with his perspective on Arcch being a scumbag. Might I remind you, all this guy did to Arcch was fail to give him a clip of himself giving Arcch a Fortnite challenge. That is it. There was no scamming people, no weird behavior, nothing of substance here. And I just love the Twitter logic think Arcch pulls in this video when he makes the argument that because a lot of people liked his video, therefore that makes him right. Like, get ratioed. And if you disagree, then you are just incorrect, my good sir. What's next? He then says, get debunked. However, one of these videos caught Arcch's eye where he himself got quite defensive over some criticism, where he wrote, if you think Nick's behavior was okay, then that's your opinion. But I think telling someone you'll do something for them if they do something, and then the only way for them to do that is through donations, then they ignore and give a rude response to a simple, polite question is weird and would leave anyone feeling scammed, even though that was your decision to keep donating. I also think Nick's response was completely unjustified and disgusting for someone with a following of over 8 million. Not to mention he must have known he messed up, as he literally deleted the VOD of the stream. Also, I saw that tweet from that creator and put out a community post as the little red bar showed me that he had not watched the videos. I deleted it about 20 minutes later as I realized I don't want to entertain the situation anymore and want to move past it. I also watched that guy's stream where he actually watched the videos, and most of his input was faking a British accent and agreeing with everything Nick said and calling me the R word. Real good professional commentary. Ah yes, professional commentary. Sorry, Nicholas Diorio, you're not considered good professional commentary unless you start throwing false scamming allegations around. So not only is this guy a scumbag, but he's also a complete hypocrite, since he made deleting VODs or videos into a big deal. But it's not considered a big deal for him to delete his community post calling Nicholas Diorio out. I guess by his own standards, Arcch must have known he messed up because he deleted his post. And I find it so very interesting that Arcch will have no quarrels with throwing false allegations towards Nick 30, but as soon as critical eyes descend towards him, he suddenly wants to move past the drama he created. Unfortunately, Archie, that's just not how it works. This guy certainly had a good time with the drama until people criticized him. Soon after this display of cowardice, Nick 30 had released his video, which the response was actually better than all of Arch's videos combined, where he shows the real messages that Arcch had sent through, and the amount of money in total was less than $10, which is all this bottles down to, and that is just sad. Nick also brings other things up, such as how his concentration between the game, the chat, and reading donations would be split up, which is a reasonable conclusion to come to, that some messages in the donations would slip through the cracks. Like, Nick obviously has a lot on his plate when he streams, which is a fair point to bring up. But the most damning of all of Nick's points would have to be that Arcch didn't even bother to ask for a refund before going out of his way to make his video.
At no point whatsoever did Arcch reach out via Twitter, email, any social media platform, or through another donation saying that he would like a refund, because everyone knows I would refund that donation within a heartbeat. I know it's not about the money. Otherwise, you would have asked for a refund, you take down the videos, but I know you're not going to. And I'm not one to censor anything. Everyone is more than allowed to have their opinion, make videos on me, form opinions. I will never DMCA strike, copyright claim them, or anything like that.
Next donation, I realized he had banned me from donating, which is really strange, man.
If I wanted more money from you, I would keep you unbanned.
And this guy does have a history of banning his fans who pay money to be in his customs.
This is not true, because for 100 player customs, you can have the trusted role or you can be a sub to join. So one is paid, one is unpaid. At one point I did make it so everyone can join the customs, whether you're a sub or not, whether you have the trusted role or not. But as you guys know, and you guys have seen clips, people grief my customs and it's just impossible to get anything done. So obviously we have to limit it to a smaller group of people.
If he was so concerned about getting the story right, don't you think he would have asked for a refund from Nick through social media or by email that is located in his tab on his channel? Surely that would be important information in this case, right? And I think that it is reasonable to say that Nick would have given that refund to Arcch had he just asked. Because at the end of the day, I don't think that Nick Nick is going to risk what he has over some pocket change. But then Arcch responded, not in a video, but on his community tab, which the post is just insane. Nick just spoke about positivity and whatever, but ignored the second video I made, where he completely lost his mind. He's clearly trying to form a narrative that makes him look like the friendly, positive guy, and keep this narrative going that I'm some clout chaser who did this for money, despite me making no money from both of the videos. Also, with the donation, I couldn't access my exact messages, so I was rewriting them from memory. They are still close enough to what I originally said, and he still made it seem impossible to give me a challenge. Also, how was I supposed to know that if I messaged him, I could have got a refund? Lol, I never seen him do that before. Unless someone accidentally donated the wrong amount, I'm not going to respond again, as I know how the internet works, and him simply responding will put me in the dirt. Lol, I still stand by what I said originally. Although one thing I would have done differently is the video thumbnail. I like how he acts like no one will listen to him, being somehow Nick's fault. When he lied in his video, slandering a streamer in the process, couldn't concede on any little point anyone made, and got defensive over criticism, and acting like a victim when it doesn't go his way in the drama he created. So much for wanting to move past drama when you respond to it, eh? Also, he recently celebrated that he became monetized, which is good for him, I guess, but I just wish he could have done it without playing the victim after falsely accusing a big streamer. Also, the only thing he would have done differently was the thumbnail. Bro, if I had that video on my hard drive, you know what I would have done differently? I wouldn't have uploaded it. Just the classic tale of cannot take the L and move on. In conclusion, Arcch just looks to be your typical clout chaser. A scorned fanboy who donated money on his own volition in order to communicate with Nick. Someone who didn't get what they wanted and felt entitled to get the clip to use in his video. Where instead of asking for a refund, Arcch went out of his way to lie about Nick, hurling false scamming allegations, making the story into one thing when it was actually the opposite. I think it's safe to say that the reason he didn't ask for a refund was because he just didn't care about the money at all, and creating drama was the priority, because he knew it would grab people's attention and would validate this victim persona he wanted to prance around as. But let me know what you think about this story in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future, and if you want your name up here with the others, then become a member today for more exclusive rewards, and thank you to the members of the channel for giving that extra support. And I will see all of you in the next one, and be sure to leave having a good one.